Hi everybody, Owen here, and the topic of today's training is giving feedback to someone in your group. Maybe you're in a situation where somebody has been talking a lot and they need to tone it down. That's the example I'll use in this setting. Or maybe something else has come up and one person has offended another, but whatever reason, you need to give somebody some feedback. We might even call it constructive criticism. But constructive criticism is really a misnomer because there's no such thing as positive feedback or constructive criticism. All criticism has the potential to hurt. And so that always makes giving that criticism very awkward. So let me offer 3 tips, 3 pieces of advice as far as handling how to give positive feedback to other people. The first tip is to remember that your value as a person is not at risk. You see, we usually approach a potential conflict, which is, giving someone feedback. We usually approach giving someone feedback a little reservedly because we're afraid that, man, my value is at stake here. This person might lampoon me or something like that. And in the end, that makes us defensive. It naturally puts up walls and it keeps us from being the loving, caring person that we need to be in that circumstance. The second piece of advice after keeping our value is to remember that the other person has value and that we're not attacking that other person. We're not giving that other person feedback about their identity, about their personhood. We're talking about just some behavior things, that's all. And so remembering that the other person matters and that they are important, that they have value, and then making sure to communicate that to the other person goes an awful long way. Hey, so-and-so, I really appreciate you, and I really appreciate the way that you make such great comments in our group. But what I've been seeing lately is that you've been talking so much that other folks are having trouble chiming in. And so I'm wondering if you would be able to maybe lay low a little bit here and there so that other people could chime in. But I really appreciate you being in the group. That kind of a thing can go a long ways. The third piece of advice is to never approach a situation like this where you're giving feedback. Never approach giving feedback like you have all the answers already. There always is the chance that there's that one little bit of information that you didn't know about that could change things. And it gives the impression that you're a know-it-all when the other person just needs to really have the chance to respond. Yes, it makes for a longer conversation, but it makes for a more fruitful conversation. So the example, it would be a bad idea to say, hey, you've been talking too much. I really appreciate you and all, but you've been talking too much. I need you to stop talking so much. It would be better to say something like, here's the story I'm putting together, or this is what I'm seeing. I really am glad you're in the group, but what I'm seeing is that you talk pretty often, and what I'm seeing is that other people aren't getting the chance to chime in. Is that what you're seeing? And by asking that question, it gives people a chance to respond, give their feedback, and then it can make a difference in that conversation. So those 3 values, those 3 pieces of advice. First, keeping your own value, remembering that your value is not at risk. Second, keeping the other person's value and making sure to let them know that they're important, that they have value, even while you're giving feedback. And then third, assuming that we don't always have the whole story, and always putting our statements not as demands, but as questions in a conversational way. Those 3 pieces of advice go an awful long way in those tough conversations where we do have to give feedback. And hopefully this training's been helpful for you. If you have any questions, let me know. Have a good day. Bye.